Hey guys, welcome to Flightcast episode 2. This is the second episode of the podcast hosted by me and Brent. First off, I want to say thank you for everybody that tuned in to last week's episode where we talked about the pros and cons of PCs and consoles in terms of gaming and whatnot. That episode was very, very hastily made, and hopefully this one is going to be a little bit better, I guess. Today with us, we have joined a guest. This is with us is my sister, Danielle. Say hi.
Hello.
She sounds a little, I don't know, to me she sounds a little quiet, but that's her microphone.
Not on my end.
I hope you can excuse that. So today, if you didn't see the topic in the video, we're going to be talking about zombies, which is really one of my more favorite topics. But yeah, we can go ahead and get started, Brent.
All right. Well, we are in a CRJ 700 again, just like last time. We are going to taxi out here to 26 right. We are in Ontario, California, going to Phoenix Sky Harbor, the big airport in Phoenix, Arizona. My GPS is saying 4 hours flight time, but I don't think that's correct. So
Let's hope not.
I hope not.
I definitely hope not. Also, on screen will be a link to skip to where we actually start talking about the podcast. The first couple minutes, we're just going to be talking about the airplane and the flight plan and whatnot.
Yep.
So where are we right now?
We are in Ontario, California. This is actually where I used to live in California. Once we get turned onto the taxiway right here, if you look off to our left, those big mountains.
I also noticed that my simulation was paused for the first couple of minutes, so I was still looking. I was like, "Wait, did you actually take off?"
No, but if you look to the left, those big mountains down there.
On your left, you will see.
That's actually where I used to live. So.
Hop over. Let me hop over the other seat real quick. I'm still sitting on the right seat.
You're still sitting on the right seat. So this was the airport that I took, or that I when I went
Those
somewhere.
mountains are really, dude. It's like nighttime right now.
It is nighttime, yeah. Well, what time is it there in California? Currently, it is.
It's
7 o'clock there.
7:07.
Currently.
So we're in Ontario. What do we take? Which runway are we taking off on?
26 right, because the winds are at 240 at 3.
Right.
So what that means is the winds are coming from a heading of 240 and they're at 3 knots. So
Obviously, that's why you want to take off in the other.
right, because you always turn off. You always turn off. Oh my God! You always take off into the wind. So
My Steam notifications, I swear. I hate. What is this? What is this? My Steam, I swear.
what's Steam doing?
Steam sending me messages.
Why is Steam sending you messages?
Because my friends on Steam are sending me messages.
Oh,
I should have prepared for this. Next
you
time,
should have prepared for it.
the more you know.
Yep.
Anything new happening with you and your flight school?
No, it's been really cold out, so there's really not.
I wondered this when we were, I don't know, were we flying back? I think we were flying to California, and we were flying from Minnesota, so the plane was all like the winds were frosted, or the wings were like iced, so
Iced.
we couldn't take off right away. They had to like spray it down with like some special.
It's alcohol that they use to spray it down.
But other than that, does I'm assuming weather does definitely affect, but how much does weather affect when you're doing a flight, especially like say even a commercial flight?
Commercial flight, not too much, because you can fly in pretty much anything unless it's really bad icing conditions. In
Nope.
a small airplane like what I fly, if it gets too cold out, those engines just cannot provide enough heat for the engine to run smoothly.
No worry about the black ice on the runway.
No, because they normally do a pretty good job taking care of that. But it's definitely a factor. Sorry, I'm working on trimming out the airplane. That's why I'm not talking.
No, that's fine.
It's definitely a factor because you look at what's called NODAMs, and that's what's known as a notice to airmen. But and you know where the icy spots are. If it's really bad black ice, then they'll probably close the runway.
All right. It's probably what happens like most of the time around here. We've had a pretty nice winter so far. It's been pretty
Yeah, it's not been too bad.
pretty mild. I still wear shorts on the way to work.
To wear shorts to work. Oh my
Yep.
God.
People call me crazy. They actually think something's wrong with me. But I feel like if I started wearing pants now, all my coworkers will like freak out. They'd be like, they'd ask if something was wrong with me. Because
Yeah.
I wasn't wearing shorts. It's good times.
This airplane pisses me off sometimes.
You still is not good or what?
What?
Tell me what's going on.
Well, so in an airplane you have what's called
We're
trim.
stalling. Are we stalling?
Oh yeah, we are stalling. That's interesting.
That's not good.
That's not good. That's because that goddamn trim's pulling my nose up. There we go. No, that's not good.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. So basically what happens in an airplane is you have what's called trim, and what that does is makes it so you're not pulling constantly on it or pushing. So it adjusts the elevator in the back. And right now I cannot get my trim to stop pulling my goddamn nose up because I'm constantly having to push it down. So go ahead and hit those buttons that I told you to hit.
All right. So this is me doing something here for once. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that speed.
Yep.
We go hit that heading real quick, and then hit our altitude, and then
Yep.
put on the autopilot. Boom! I actually did something for once.
Good job. All right, cool. I'm not flying the airplane anymore. It's all
me.
the autopilot.
It's all the autopilot.
If it was you, we'd be in some deep
If
shit.
it was me, I'm okay. Okay. And hopefully you'll actually stick around long enough to land the airplane this time.
Yeah,
that's-
hopefully. Okay,
that's
so
what the
we are
hope
looking
is.
about the boot.
A boot? What are you talking about?
Boot. We're looking at about an hour flight time.
All right.
Looks like.
So now that we're in the air, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the topics now. So, like I said, we're talking about zombies, and we're gonna start off with talking about one of my more favorite zombies aspects, Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty. I don't really care for the multiplayer too much, but the zombies is really the reason I keep coming back to Call of Duty. Brent, what was your first? Let's start off with World at War, because that's the first game that the zombies came out with their game mode event.
Right.
Treyarch, what was your first experience with Call of Duty Zombies? On World at War?
What was my first experience? I actually think it was on. No, it was on World at War. Obviously on the default map.
Yeah,
But it was on the Xbox 360. Because just for background on everyone, Doctor or Sam and I have played custom zombie maps, so that's why I said the default map. So
most of custom zombie maps are all on all of them are on PC.
yeah.
Let's see here.
But yeah, so it was on Xbox 360 split screen with my brother because we didn't have live at the time.
Let's see here. Mine was actually was on PS3. We had the family PS3 sitting down in the basement, and me and my dad. My dad and I were kind of playing. We weren't playing co-op, but we were playing together. Where we would hand the controller off. When we were doing the story mode, and
Yeah.
As I'm sure most people know, when you're playing, you finish the story mode, you're playing as the Russians, and you finally go and you plant that flag after you get stabbed with like some sword or something something like that. I don't know. And then the other guy comes up with his machete and slices that Nazi. and then you plant that flag, and then you're like, hey, game over, you win. And after that happens, my dad takes a phone call. He walks away from the PlayStation a little bit, and we weren't expecting anything else. You know, you finish the story, that's it. You know, it's over, right? And then you get that cutscene that everybody remembers. You know, you're waking up on the beach, right? And then you see the things running towards you, and I instantly had no idea what was going on. I was about it was 2008 was the game came out, right? I was about 11 at that time. So you see the things, the zombies running at you. You have no idea. There's never been, you know, the zombie game mode before, so it's not like people were expecting this. I definitely wasn't. And then it says Nazi zombies, you know, in the screen on blood red, and it puts you down on the map. The menacing laugh goes off, and I was just instantly terrified out of my mind. I had no idea what was going on. I was kind of scared, and then I paused and I tried to go get my hey come look at this. There's it says Nazi zombies on it, but it's like it's I don't know. Is it a new mission or what? I had no idea what it was. I probably died round 1 or round 2 maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, going on, I definitely, you know, obviously got better. They came out with the new maps. What did you think about like the original World at War maps? Because I thought
like the original
the original, the original. No, Nocturne and Toten.
Nocturne Toten.
Yeah, Nocturne and Toten. And I thought it was brilliant because instantly, right away, I played the multiplayer as well, so I knew it was the map Airfield, I believe is what the map was called, Airfield. And so, you know, I loved how they took the multiplayer map that people might have played before if they've played the multiplayer. Hopefully they have.
Yeah, and have you seen the TV show The Pacific on HBO?
Is that World War II film or a TV show?
Yeah,
I think I might have seen parts.
Okay,
of it.
well, anyway, there's a scene in the movie that just going off topic here for a second. There's a scene in the movie where they're taking an airfield, and that map reminds me a lot of that movie.
Oh yeah.
Don't ask me why. It just does. So I just figured I'd chime in there and say that.
Go ahead and look up that movie, that scene, real quick.
The Pacific. It's
Is it a movie? Or is it a TV show?
It's a mini series, like TV show, I guess. I think each episode's about an hour.
All right, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked how they implemented that, and I kind of knew that right away. But you know, they definitely did change the maps, and you know, for the zombies mode. Obviously, they changed it a lot, but it was still recognizable. I also remember a lot of, you know, going on YouTube and looking this up, trying to get more information on it. I would, you know, find people that would show you how to run around, how to avoid the zombies. Because you know, once you get to the higher rounds, it was always for me, it was always, you know, sit in the corner, try to you know, go hit the box, try to get an LMG, sit in the corner, and try to last until round 5.
Yeah, that was the way I did it too.
I mean, that was the only way. But you know, it was, you know, I want to say, you know, right when it came out, a lot of people like didn't really. Nobody was like, oh well, I gotta train these zombies up and you know, get all these points and whatnot. But I definitely went on YouTube. I don't know. I think that all the videos have been taken down from the ones that I remember originally. You know, a guy got, you know, round 80 or 90 playing Nocturne and Toten, running around in the help room around those columns.
Yep. And
it was just I didn't understand how can you do that? You know, he's just running around in a circle and he's not dying.
Yep.
If I try to do that, I just die right away. But then, you know, just like, you know, anybody who's played zombies, you know, you just keep doing it, and then you get it down. But I also remember going through all of the exploits that they always had. You know, the starting room, the one column that was broken down, you can jump into like the broken down part of the column, and then all the zombies would like line up against the back wall, and they couldn't hit you. So
really, you could do that?
Yep, that was one of them. There was also another one if you went upstairs to where the cabinet was with the Car 98K, the scoped one, the scoped Car 98K upstairs, by where the trench gun also was. There's like this little piece of cardboard. You can jump into the piece of cardboard and then crouch down or like lay all the way down, and then they couldn't get to you. And the most popular one is if you go up the spiral stairs back where the grenades are, and you crouch underneath the grenades, then the zombies can't touch you. Like, you know, people are getting to infinitely high rounds because the zombies just could never touch them.
I did not know that.
there were some glitches back in the day, but then the ones that like you know you could do all these and you're like, oh wow, that's pretty great. I didn't know that you could do this. But the ones that always got me, Brent, is when people are like, I can show you how to get out of the map. And I don't know if you've ever seen these, but I've definitely seen my fair share of these. Nocturne and Toten, like way back in the day, people get out of the map and you're like, oh, I'll show you how. All you have to do is press the console key, and then you type in no clip, and then you just fly around the map, and then you get outside, and blah blah blah. And keep in mind, I'm playing on PlayStation. I've never played a computer game in my life. And I was like, what the heck? Where's this key on my PlayStation controller? I can't find it. I just didn't understand the whole point of like console cheats on PC, because it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, right.
And then I remember every time each one of the new maps came out as well. Shino Numa was Verrucht was the second one. Verrucht. What do you think about Verrucht now?
Which one does that remind me? Refresh my memory.
That's the insane asylum where
oh yeah, you and I played on that one before.
You start on different, like, there's a power, you have to go that was the first time they introduced perks in power. You could, 2 players there, you know, if you're having four players, there are 4 spawn points, but 2 players would spawn separate from the other 2 players.
I've heard that one.
And especially when you're playing just co-op, just with 2 players, it was, you know, first learning the map, it was very difficult having 2 players that would spawn not with each other. And then we would constantly restart until we both spawned on the same side. That's also. What did you first think when you first started playing this map? Because I thought it was just absolutely crazy when they had the perks and whatnot.
Who are you asking, Danielle?
I'm asking both of you.
I went back to it, so I already like have played with perks before that, so it wasn't like, whoa, it's crazy. But I thought it was weird how I couldn't start by my partner, and both of us were trying to figure out a way how to get together, and it was just a little confusing for me.
I would definitely say also, since like when I remember this, it was still pretty early in the days of zombies, so I still wasn't great by any means. I still couldn't, you know, hold my own. So it was definitely very, very. It was more difficult because, you know, if you're not very experienced in it, you wouldn't spawn next to your friends. It's you'd be off alone, and then you'd have to get all the way through to the power, which is on the complete, no matter which side you started on, complete opposite side of the map. You had to buy all the way to the power. What was your favorite side to start on?
I don't
The
even
one
know.
with the what side is the one with the Gewehr?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite side too, because
Yeah.
you instantly go up the stairs and you have an MP40 on that side. You have double tap on that side, and I don't know if it was less doors or not. It felt like it was less doors to get to power. The only reason I liked the other side, I did like that side better, the Gewehr side. The only reason I liked the other side is because it had a Thompson in the second room.
Yep.
Thompson was awesome. Yeah, power was definitely a very big thing to introduce.
Yeah. I remember I didn't like it at first. I actually kind of went back.
Oh, I didn't like Verrucht at first either. It's still not one of my favorite maps, but it's definitely cool.
Now it's actually, I think it's one of my, I don't know, top 20. I like Verrucht.
Well, I mean, you're talking about mod maps included or no?
Yeah, I think my all-time favorite map would probably be. Oh, what would I don't know. We'll get into that later.
All right.
I can think on that.
Yeah, definitely. It's also very. It's. I also realize it's very, very dark in
That's
this
because I
cockpit.
turned off the light in the cockpit.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about that. I just.
Just because I thought it would look better in the video. So.
It's like I'm looking at a black screen.
Oh, okay.
No,
Got it.
it's fine though. You can keep it off if you want.
I mean,
It's better for all of the mid-flight flight attendant BJs, right?
yeah, totally.
Okay.
God
You two,
damn it.
aren't you guys the only two in the plane?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey. Okay. Perks. I also didn't. The first times I've ever played it, I never bought perks. I didn't know what they were for. I did get. I think that one of the first perks I ever bought was the double tap because I always started on the Guevara side, so it was always right there.
Yeah.
And I could notice that my gun was shooting faster, but I was like, oh well, this isn't really worth. I didn't buy perks right away. I didn't really think that they were useful. I don't know why. Looking back, they're definitely licensed. I didn't buy Juggernog all the time. It wasn't like number one priority. Turn on power and buy Juggernog. But
Juggernog is
looking back now, that's definitely the one thing you have to do. Third map, Shino Numa. I also definitely remember. I mean, all of these maps had their fair share of glitches, and you get into this spot and then you're instantly invulnerable. But that Shino Numa, I remember my dad and I playing split screen co-op, and there was this one specific glitch spot where you can get into. You could both get into, and then you just basically just keep throwing grenades at the zombies, and then we would see a drop, and then my dad would be like, oh, you see that nuke? We should go grab it real quick. And then I was like, oh, I don't know about that. And then my dad would jump out of the glitch spot, go grab the nuke, and try to jump back in before he dies. I remember getting to 30 or 40 plus, something like that, which back then was a very high round.
Yep.
And also the birth of the unlimited weapons glitch. So if you don't know about the map Shino Numa, you start off in this spawn hut, fairly large hut. You get out, and then you have 4 different paths in different directions to go off to. That all have their own smaller huts, which have a box spawn. Which another thing I forgot to mention in Varrock, at first time the box could move. That definitely threw me for a loop the first couple times I got a teddy bear and I had no idea what was going on. It's like, well, how do you know where the box goes? And you're like, oh, well, you don't. And I was like, oh, well, that's nice. So each one of those little huts had a box spawn, and then they all had another first time that the perks could randomly spawn. So you would go into the hut, and then the perk would randomly spawn, and you wouldn't know what was spawned there until it actually dropped down. You're like, okay, well, this one is double tap, and that's useless, and we want to find the one with Juggernaut,
Yeah.
But then each one of the huts also, the glitch was if the box spawned there, what you could do is you could go hit the box. And I don't know, I don't know if you ever did as much YouTube searching for glitches as I did, but back in the day, this was very popular. You would hit the box, and then you would quickly run back while the box is spinning. You would run back, you would grab your perk, and then you would grab the perk so that while you're drinking the perk, you run over to the box, and then you pick up your gun. And if you pick up your gun while you're drinking the perk, you would get the new gun, and you wouldn't trade any of your old guns. And then you could go down, and then you would lose all your perks, and you could keep on doing it over and over and over.
So you just had so many guns.
You could get every
bastard.
single gun in the entire game. Well, I mean, obviously they patched it and whatnot.
By the way, did you see that join message a couple of seconds ago? It said Aber Zombie joined.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I haven't been paying much attention to the top of the screen actually. I do see the join messages coming through and whatnot. They had the traps in Varrock, the electrocution traps and the
Yep.
fire traps, I believe, also. But I never really utilized because I never even noticed that they were there the first times that we played them. And then Shinonuma came along. You had the giant swinging, uh, you know, spikes stuck through a log, and those are the first traps that I ever really remember using. And I remember dying, and every single time that I would set the trap off, I would end up dying.
Oh yeah, the trap on like Yoke Slayer. Okay.
Yeah.
I had to think there for a second, but yeah.
Yeah. I still look back. People are still playing Shinonuma and getting to ridiculous high rounds because, if I'm correct, Shinonuma was also the first time that they had. It wasn't the first time they had a wonder weapon because they had the ray gun in the first two maps, but they had the wonder. Did they have the wonder waft, or am I thinking the Black Ops One remakes had the wonder waft?
I think the Black Ops 1 had the Wonder Waff. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
the Wonder Waff and Thunder Gun didn't come along for a while.
No, the Wonder Waff came. You know, the Wonder Waff came in Deriz.
Oh,
So
okay.
one of the, in my opinion, one of the best maps made. Deriz was the fourth and final map pack, and you know they introduced teleporters. They introduced the obvious pack. You know, obviously they introduced the pack punch. That was very, very awesome. So I still remember, you know, like we would try to upgrade different guns. We'd be like, oh, I wonder what this gun's like upgraded. You know, like you grab the M1A1, you upgrade it, it becomes fully automatic. You grab the Panzer Shrek and you upgrade that, and it, I think that's also fully automatic. It's, you know, it's obviously 3 shots and it's very slow, fully automatic. But you know, I liked how you didn't have to aim in to shoot. You could shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
And whatnot. What do you think about about the Deriz map? I don't want to have to like ask you specifically what did you think about it. You can just chime in.
I really didn't play the Doriza map. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. That much. I
You
played it. I
didn't?
think a total of 3 times.
Oh
so
my lord. Okay. Once we're done recording this, we have to play some Deriz.
it depends on what time it is.
Dude, Deriz
But,
is so fun.
I get it. I mean, that's Ryan's scream name. So
It is. His name is Deriz. Also, throughout all of these, they had a bunch of, you know, you'd go find a radio and you press square or X on it, depending on if you're playing Xbox or PlayStation, and then they would play through through like this audio track. I remember that in Shinonuma. I don't really remember it at all in Verrucht. I'm pretty sure they might have had it though. But Deriz was very, very big on. It wasn't really an Easter egg because, you know, it wasn't as as detailed as some of the ones that they come out with, as some of the Easter eggs that they come out with. But I definitely remember going through and finding all the different radios, and then you would turn them all on, and they would, you know, they would talk about Maxis and how the beginning of the dog or the zombies came in. You know, the first dog that was a zombie.
Oh yeah.
The little girl and whatnot.
I still die by dogs almost every single time the dogs round comes up. I hate dogs. Dogs
my
piss me
gosh.
off.
Some of the dogs are just broken, overpowerful.
Yeah, they are.
Let's move on a little bit more.
Yeah, because we're about halfway. Just a quick
Yeah.
flight update. We're about halfway. So
All right. Yep. So, World at War. Also, if you're playing on PC, you know, one of the big. I've said this in the last podcast, but I'm going to say it again because it's very important. The one reason I got into PC gaming is World at War. I would go and search a bunch of stuff about Nazi zombies because I really loved the game mode, and they were showing all these, you know, like the castle map from the multiplayer was turned into a Nazi zombie map, and I thought that was absolutely incredible. How can I play this? Is this like a DLC that I have to download? Nope, it's just on PC, and that was the driving reason why I actually ended up getting a PC was mods, and it was not just solely mods for World at War, but that was like the first mods I ever remember seeing, custom mod wise. And if you don't know, There are about, I'd say, at least 10 million. Okay, probably not. How many mods do you think are out there for World at War? A game that is now
Probably close to a million. It's
7, 8 years
pretty
old.
incredible.
There are just endless amounts. You could not play every single one. You
Hell,
die.
you have you used or you still kind of do have a stream dedicated to custom zombie maps.
Yeah.
So
Go check
I
me
mean,
out on Twitch.
for never
you-
streaming anymore.
Nope. Like they're just so like I can go on and I can download 10 new maps I've never even seen or heard of before, and then after I get done playing all of them and memorizing them, there'd be 10 more maps I've never even seen or played before or heard of before, and there's so many great ones out there that
Yep.
are, in my opinion, are rivaling close to or even better than some of the Treyarch maps that have been released.
I would say bettering. I mean, for instance, let's say not Cheese Cube. Fuck Cheese Cube.
Project Zombies. Or no, Project Viking. Have you played Project Viking?
No.
There are kill streaks. You can get an AC-130 in zombies. Hello?
That's incredible.
That's so awesome. I mean, it's just...
But I mean, Dead Ship. Dead Ship is highly known as one of the best custom zombie maps out there.
If you go and... You guys should go and search up some... Just go search Nazi Zombies Dead Ship. It's very... Like, they turn the point system on its head. So, like...
Yeah.
You only get points for killing zombies instead of wounding them. But the points are worth more. Like, you know, it's like 50 points to buy like a perk instead of, you know.
Actually, it's like 500, but yeah.
Well, it's 50.
Dead Ship is probably my
Warning.
favorite map. I love Dead Ship. It's awesome.
It's really
It's amazing how detailed they got. The zombies are different. The way they spawn is different. And the way you get guns is a lot different too.
Yeah, definitely. And it also has multi-level pack-a-punch. Before any of the Treyarch maps had multi-level pack-a-punch, where you know you could pack-a-punch it multiple times, and you know that's definitely really cool. I love those. Like I love when people make a zombie map and they do something that Treyarch has never done before, and then Treyarch does that in their next official zombie map. And you're like, oh, I wonder where they got this idea from. All right, let's move on. Black Ops 1, is so Black Ops 1 zombie maps, the actual maps that came, you know, like I don't think there are very many mods for I think there are, but there's just not very many mods for Black Ops 1 zombies. The Black Ops 1 zombies are probably my favorite maps so far. So we can run through these a little bit more quick. We don't have to spend too much time on them.
Yeah, just a quick flight update. We just crossed the border from California into Arizona, so.
All right. We're gonna go hit up the strip.
Yeah, fuck it.
All right.
Wait, what? That's in Nevada. Smart one.
Well, okay, never mind.
God damn it.
So Kino der Toten, the first map originally in Black Ops, Kino der Toten, Theater of the Dead in German. Definitely one of my like I said, Deriz was one of the best. Kino is also very, very high up there, and one of my favorite maps I've ever played for zombies.
I agree. Same with me.
Which one is Toten? Remind me.
Kino is the theater.
Start out in the lobby.
Oh yeah. I like that
there.
one too.
You the stage. Do you know how much time I've spent on the stage alone, just running around? You know, once you get the technique down to running around in a circle, it's just absolutely just great.
Yeah, Dad got to like level 60 or something.
Oh, he got higher than 60. He got past 100. He would. 100? Yep. I remember he would say like the rounds would take him like a clean like an hour or two for one round. You'd have to run them through the traps, otherwise he couldn't kill him. He would sit down and he'd play like a round. He'd play one round and then he'd be like, okay, that's enough zombies for tonight, because that would last him 3 or 4 hours. And then he'd pause the game and then he'd leave, and then he'd come back like the next morning or like the next afternoon or something like that, and he'd play another round. and he would just keep the game on pause the entire time. It'd just always be on pause because he's around 90 or something crazy like that, and rounds take 45 minutes to complete, or even longer, an hour or two to complete once you get the really high rounds.
Yep.
I loved the idea when you teleport, it brings you to like the room and you can like look over the stage, the screen. What do they call that room when you're up in the up where the
Screening room maybe.
Like the projector room
projector,
kind
Yeah,
of.
projector room.
Yeah.
I love that idea, and then you can like all the zombies just stand around. You can the grenade.
Yeah, I like how it's a safe spot.
The grenade buy
Yeah.
is up there. Yeah, exactly. It's a nice safe spot. You can buy grenades and you can just throw them down. You can keep buying more and more grenades and just keep tossing them down to the zombies. Dog rounds kind of mess you up though, because if it's a dog round and you're up in the projector room, the dogs actually go underneath where the projector room is and you can't actually hit them. You could probably throw a grenade or a Semtex and land it just right where it blows up and hurts the dogs.
Oh, that's right, because the dogs can't hurt you, but they just not in your path of
Yeah,
destruction, I would say.
a path.
Yeah.
Destruction. Anything else you guys want to say about Kino at all?
Not really Kino, but on what's that rocket ship map?
Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah, okay, we're getting there. Got it.
Next one's 5. Also,
Five.
it wasn't a DLC map. It was just I really liked 5 because a lot of people didn't like. I didn't really care for the map of 5, but I really liked 5 because they had the characters that you play as. They finally brought in new characters to play as. You play as John F. Kennedy,
Yep.
Richard Nixon. What was the guy? McNamara, Robert McNamara, and then Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
They had the new wonder weapon, the Winter's Howl, which in my opinion was one of the cooler wonder weapons. And that's not even a pun because it freezes them, but that's not even the pun. It was one of my more favorite. It was really interesting. The Winter's Howl when you
Why
first.
would they bring in Fidel Castro though? I don't understand that.
I didn't understand the choice of characters and the loading screen menu, like when you're watching them are all sitting around talking and they're like, zombies, we have to kill, like it was so cheesy.
Yeah.
But the map wasn't that bad. The
The map
Pentagon
was kind of cool.
the
I
pen-
remember my brother and I always used to camp in the elevator, and then whenever that we couldn't
Yep.
handle it, we always
Yep,
pressed
just
the button,
hit the button and go.
and,
I remember that.
and then
Dude.
we would always die.
Dude, the Pentagon thief, the guy that steals your guns.
Oh my god,
gosh. I liked the integration of a boss round that was different from dogs. But why did you have to make it this guy? I mean, I swear to God.
I remember. Oh my god, we had a plumber over, and he was working upstairs on my parents' bathtub, I think. And anyway, my brother and I were on that round, and or my brother screamed, "Shut the fucking door!" or something like that. And the plumber heard us, and my smallest little brother comes down. My smallest little brother. That makes perfect sense.
Your youngest
but-
brother?
Yeah. And he comes down and he goes, the plumber just told me, what the heck is your brother playing? Oh my god, I laughed so hard. I don't know.
Have you had any experience with 5 at all?
No, I remember watching you play and talking about the King Zombie, but I played it only like a couple times, but I never learned the map that well.
Okay, Dead Ops Arcade. It's a poor excuse for zombies.
No, yeah, that's not zombies at all. That's
Top down. You just move your
like it.
sticks to look around and shoot. I thought it was kind of fun, I guess, but it definitely, I don't want to call it a zombies. Well, it's not a traditional Nazi zombies map in my opinion, but it was still fun.
The only cool thing was that you had to like unlock it, and you're like, oh cool, look at this secret game. But then you play it like 1 or 2 times, and then you're like,
Yeah, you're like, okay. I
well,
mean,
that-
when you get to the end, like if you've ever actually got to the end of Dead Ops Arcade, you can choose your path and you can get one of the special options and whatnot. It's interesting. It wasn't my favorite personally, but moving on. Ascension is the one that you were thinking of, the rocket.
Oh
I
yeah.
really liked that one.
oh,
That
like
was one of my favorites too.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too.
The first
There's a couple different areas that you can run circles in really well. Like,
right
if
right next to PhD flop, you get PhD
Yep.
flopper, and then you get grenades right there too, and the grenades
yeah,
won't hurt you. You just keep running around, just throwing grenades,
you don't
buying more
need
grenades.
ammo at all.
No,
Just
exactly.
running,
You just throw grenades,
grab grenades, throw it at the wall, and it bounce behind you. And
and the
that's I
PhD
would do that for
flopper,
rounds after rounds after
it'll
rounds.
never hurt you.
Yep.
Also,
As long
right
as
under, yeah, go on.
oh, well, there's other places too.
Oh yeah,
If people don't interfere with me, then I could just do Great and Ascension, but you'll have people running in.
oh
But
yeah. I
I
mean,
had I was with a guy and he was in the first room, which has the thing that spins and that could kill you. But I
Yeah.
don't know, he was doing good there and I was doing good in my spot. There's another guy in like the garbage area running his own circles there,
the garbage
and
area.
then that like a junkyard area. I don't know.
By stamina up.
I think so. And then where if you release the rocket, you can do circles over there pretty
Yep,
well.
that's one of my favorite. I like that one a little bit better than the PhD one. It's right next to the pack punch, right underneath where the rocket is. I always just go down there. Um, it was, I mean, and there's at least 4 running spots. You can run around in the spawn room, run around up by PhD. You can run around down there. You can down by the pack punch, and then you can run around over. I didn't mind running around over by Stamina Up and by the other launch pad, and it was very. I mean, if you had 4 players, you could.
Yeah, if they were all independent players and they all knew how to run circles, then
Yeah, you could go. You could go for a decent amount of rounds, 4 players.
yeah.
Because the biggest problem with doing 4 players is if one person's running around, one person just runs through the guy's train, and then everybody's the zombies break loose, and then everybody dies, and it's just like, oh great guy, thanks for interrupting me.
Yeah, and in some of the zombies. Yeah, and in some of them, there's not like that many wide open good circle spots. Like how you're talking Kino, your favorite spot was on the stage. I wouldn't run circles in many other spots in Kino, So it's
Yeah,
nice
and
that
then
Ascension has like
and then somebody else runs through your spot to like go to the teleporter. They're just like they're running completely around the entire map. Sometimes people do that on Kino, and then they end up at the stage, and then the trains pass, or the paths cross. But then normally when that happens for me, I don't ever usually die, but like all of my like I'd be running around the stage. Alan would be running around the entire map, and then he would come by the stage, and then as soon as he leaves, like all my zombies are gone. I was like, oh great, I have like 2 zombies now, and just stole all my zombies. Oh great.
Helper killed them all.
No, all of them started following him.
Oh, alright.
Was he a point whore?
Oh yeah, gosh, that's
Yeah.
Alan.
Fucking goddamn it, Alan.
Back to Ascension, they came out with the Gersh device, which was one of the more cooler, special. It was, I mean, it was more useful than the monkey bomb, in my opinion, because it instantly killed them. Instead of the monkey bomb, could make crawlers, and once you have like, I mean, crawlers are nice, but when you have like 50 crawlers and they're all right next to you, you can't run a train because the crawlers are.
The monkey bombs are really nice though if you want to save people,
Well, Gersh's also suck the zombies in.
Oh, is that the black hole thing?
Yep.
Okay, I was not sure what you're talking about at first.
And then they also have the Chinese, what are they called? The dolls. The Matryoshka. I definitely butchered that name. It was like the little Russian dolls. They're not Chinese. They're Russian dolls. The Russian dolls. You pop them out and they blow up, and then they blow up again, and then it wasn't ever very useful in my opinion. It was like a grenade, but then it was like a grenade that would, after it got done exploding, it would explode like 4 more times, and it was good if you're running around in the PhD spot and you already had PhD. But once you run out, then you're not gonna have any more. It's not really great. Well, this is probably one of the first times I've seen like an Easter egg, but it wasn't even an Easter egg. It was not directly stated in the game when you started playing, where you had to link up the 3 different teleporter spots to launch the rocket, And looking back, nobody would call this an Easter egg if you look at any of the other Easter eggs. But I
That
mean,
isn't. But they did have teddy bears in that game
yeah,
that you were supposed to
where you
find.
go find the teddy bears, you press square on them, and then it would play a song.
Yeah.
But like, I remember the first time we ever launched the rocket, we thought it was the coolest thing ever. That how could you have this in zombies? And I can't believe that a rocket just launched. And then even cooler is the first time we shot down the rocket.
And if
And
you
then
get there fast enough, you get a perk or
a drop.
double times two.
It's always double points, I believe.
Yeah.
What do you think? What was you? Because you were saying about Ascension earlier, Brent. What was your like more favorite parts about the map?
I just thought that it was cool.
It's just. I mean, yeah, that's good. It definitely changed a lot. Like you said, the giant spinning death thing in the very beginning of the room killed me quite a few times when I didn't know what was going on. My dad also was big on working the achievements. He got very far on this map too, up in the 90s and whatnot.
Once
But also,
I taught him my grenades running around circle spot.
Figure that out all on your own.
Well, I don't know if I figured it out on my own, but I know Dad didn't because I taught him that.
He was also really big on. There was an achievement for pack punching a gun on or before round 8, and so he would always try to point horror as much as he can in the first early rounds. Shoot them this many times and then knife them, and then find the doorway specific path, and then you have to get really lucky on when the monkeys spawn, and all this other stuff. And then he could pack a punch on round 8. He could pack a punch his pistol on round 8, and then he tried so many times before he finally got the achievement. But it was big when he got it. I hear lights going off.
Yeah, we're about 6 minutes away from Phoenix.
All right.
Yeah.
So we can hurry up then.
Yeah.
Call of the Dead. What was the one with the movie stars as the playable characters? Really cool. Really cool because it's an icy map. Another pun for you. It had Sarah Michelle Gellar, which is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Not really a zombie theme, but definitely still interesting. They had all the other
zombie slayer.
Yeah. They had Robert Englund, Michael Rooker, and then Danny Trejo, and then George A. Romero as the special boss. George Romero on that map was absolutely a pain. It was absolutely a pain getting around him. You remember that map, right, Brent?
No.
You don't remember? It was a giant ship. There was a giant ship, and then it was an icy map, and then you had a large guy with a giant hammer. A giant electricity hammer.
Yep. I know what you're talking
That's
about
the one I thought you were talking about earlier.
This is one of the first maps I ever did the Easter egg on, and like this is when the big Easter eggs actually got like really complicated, in-depth bunch of steps and whatnot. And then you actually got a prize at the end. You get the Wonder Waff at the end, which is not normally in the box, because they got the Scavenger and the VR-11 as their two special weapons. The VR-11, when you shoot a zombie, it turns into a human and he just kind of runs away, and then he can distract the zombies for you. And then the Scavenger, it's just a sniper rifle that shoots sticky explosives. So it would stick to a zombie, and then after like about 2.5 seconds, it would blow up, and it was just the coolest. It was one of the coolest Wonder Weapons in my opinion. Shangri-La. I really did not like Shangri-La very much.
No, me neither.
The Easter egg was very in-depth. Again, the Black Ops 1, they were really in-depth on their Easter eggs. They had the monkeys that would come and steal your drops, and then they could, like the drop would randomly, like if you get a double points, a monkey would come over, take the double points, and while it's running away to the outskirts of the map, the double points would randomly change into other drops. It could be like, it could change into a max ammo, it could change into a nuke, it could change into a perk bottle, and when you get the perk bottle, it'll give you another perk. So if you have 4 perks, you can just wait until the monkeys drop a perk bottle, and you can get 5 perks, and you can get all the perks that way. So that was definitely very interesting. Moon. Again, one of my favorite maps, all time favorite.
I actually didn't like that one that much because I really liked Kino and Ascension, and then when these other ones came out, I was like, okay, this is getting a little too complicated for me, and there's areas where you don't have oxygen, and Ascension was Kino. I felt like is really easy map or something to learn, and Ascension was like a little bit more difficult, and then Moon, I was like, okay, I'm done learning these maps. This is difficult.
Yeah, Moon was definitely it was a steep learning curve. It was hard to learn, but once you learned it, it was very rewarding. Running around in the biodome with a hacking tool. The hacking tool is like one of the reasons I really love Moon so much. Obviously, you couldn't have a PES, so you couldn't run around where there's no oxygen. But if you keep the giant diggers from excavating the biodome, you'd always have oxygen in there. And the hacking tool, you can hack uh, any drop to give you a max ammo, which is very, very useful if you're trying to get to higher rounds. And you could give points to other players. You can like buy doors and whatnot for very, very cheap. And it was an innovation, and I like innovation.
You like innovation.
Steve Jobs. Green Run. Moving on to Black Ops 2.
Damn it.
We got Green Run. So, this was the one where it had all the different areas, and then they had a bus that would go in between all the areas. If you try to go off into the mist without the bus, you get your head attacked by this monkey thing that would clamp onto your head, and then it was really frightening the first time. Like all these maps, when it's new and you haven't played it before, it's kind of like scary, and you're like, I don't know what to expect from this one, and I have to learn the map, and it's kind of difficult and whatnot.
Yeah, I thought that one was difficult to learn, and you would get stuck in an area, and I don't know.
Brent, you were saying earlier you actually really liked Transit.
And you had to get all these upgrades for the bus.
I thought it was kind of cool.
I liked the upgrades for the bus. I really did like that, where you could put a plow on the front of the bus. They couldn't come in through the plow anymore.
That was something that I would have had to look that up to even know that, because I didn't even know you could add things to your bus until you told me that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like an Easter egg. Like you wouldn't know unless you actually looked it up or something.
Oh, I mean, the first part is like right in your way when you had. That was when they introduced the building into it, so you had to. Well, you didn't have to build to get out of the spawn room, but I never built right away because my friend's like, hey, you could just build this power thing, and then you can just get out of the spawn room without actually buying a door. I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. And then if you do that, you'll see the first part for the bus is always right there, and then if you actually go up and it'll say pick this up, and then if you're kind of smart enough, you might be like, oh well, maybe I can go try to do something with this. And of course, the bus is right there. If you get the plow right away, it's kind of a dead giveaway. If you get like a hatch, the bus hatch, it's more confusing. You're like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know where this goes. But once like you say, it's a little bit more of a steep learning curve, but it's definitely rewarding once you get it done.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed pretty cool, but you could build a fan to open a door for free. You could upgrade your bus, and then you also had to learn the different areas that the bus would take you to, and I felt like the whole thing was like an Easter egg. You're trying to figure out where to go and what to do, and it was very confusing.
Moving on, I didn't really play a lot of the Black Ops because I didn't actually buy a lot of the map packs for Black Ops 2, so I didn't play a lot of these some of these maps. Diary. Well, they had Nuketown. They turned Nuketown into a map, which I just didn't particularly care for.
I thought it was kind of cool, but they added a bunch of like junk, and it's just so small, and there's no really open spaces.
I mean, not even like that. Like, there's no open spaces to run around and whatnot. It's very small. It was hardly. I mean, it's kind of like they threw it in there just for fun because of how popular the map was on multiplayer.
Well, yeah, I feel like it's a novelty map.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to describe it because like it's so small. It's like, okay, is this? I mean, are we really doing this now?
But Nuketown's so popular they put it in like 3 of their different games.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
in the new Black Ops 3, I think.
I think they did as well.
Yeah.
Die Rise, I didn't really play Die Rise too much because I didn't have the map pack. But they got the towers, the skyscrapers, the Sliquifier the buildable weapon, and the trample steam. I never really used either one of them. I never actually built them because I didn't. I would only play the map at like my friend's house, like over to his house, and he had all the maps. And I didn't play very much of the Black Ops 2 maps. I didn't really care for the Black Ops 2 maps personally. I like the Black Ops 1 maps a lot better. Mob of the Dead was a fun one. It was let's see here. Am I actually thinking differently? Mob of the Dead. Oh, Mob of the Dead was Alcatraz actually.
Yep.
That was not the one that I was thinking of. Mob of the Dead was fun, but it was not Alcatraz.
Are you thinking of the one that's like there's a barn and like a farmhouse?
Nope, that's Transit.
That's Transit? Alright. I did kind of like that one. It was kind of wide open. I could just run around.
Mob of the Dead was I mean it was something. It was something new. I personally wasn't one of my favorites. We're gonna also we spent a lot of time talking about the earlier map. We can rush through these ones a little bit quicker. Buried. Buried was the one that I was thinking. You're underground. You start off above ground, but you go down into this mine shaft, and then it's kind of like Western feel. I loved seeing the Remington new model Army revolver. Was like first time I saw this. I have to get this gun. This is so cool. And too bad for me, it was actually like a really garbage weapon. It was pretty bad. But the map itself was pretty cool. Do you remember playing any of these maps, Brent?
No.
Yeah, I didn't actually get the map packs for these, so I didn't actually play a lot of these either.
That, and if you guys could just talk, because I'm kind of hand flying the airplane right now, circling the airport just so we can burn up some time.
All right, yeah, no, that's fine. And even once you land, we could taxi too. We could take a little bit more time. I'm not going to go too far into time here, but we can get done. We can get done talking about these games. Shadows of Evil. Okay, wait. Origins was the last one as well. The Stabs in Origins was, and I've never actually played Origins. Even going to a friend's house and whatnot, I've never played Origins. I do like how they took they took the MP40 and whatnot. A lot of the stuff from the old World at War maps. They took like the Walter starting pistol and whatnot. And they updated it for the new game. It looks a lot cleaner. That sounds a lot more beefy and whatnot than how it sounded in World of War and whatnot. I keep saying it and whatnot. I say that a lot. I really notice that they have the giant walking death robots. I've never played the map. I've never played the map, but I've seen gameplay of it, and it's definitely really cool. I've never done the Easter egg. I can only imagine how many steps there is to that one. The Stabs though was a really big thing that I really enjoyed about it. More in like the World at War, when you'd go play custom maps on World at War, the Stabs, they had Origin Stabs on World at War, because that's the power of modding on PC. You remember playing Bunker? The map Bunker, Brent?
Bunker.
It had the Origin Stabs. It had like a giant monkey that would chase you around every couple rounds.
No, I don't remember that.
I know that you've played it with me, but I mean, if we play it again, then it'll jog your memory. But that's the only times I've ever actually used the Stabs, and they're ported really well over to PC and World War. Other than that, we can jump over to Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare zombies, in my opinion, the zombies feels a lot more like survival mode in Modern Warfare 3 or the zombie mode in Ghosts, where it didn't really feel like it was more Nazi zombie like. Each one of the maps, correct me if I'm wrong, each one of the maps had like a different unique aspect to it, where the one map you had to protect the one guy.
Oh yeah, on the Burger Town map you had to rescue survivors, and if you rescued them you'd get an upgrade, and if you didn't rescue them, if you just let them die, then you would get like a power outage for a whole round.
And then you can't buy perks, and you can't buy the box while this power outage is going. So it was kind of like it gave you incentive, but like if you're all set up, you could, and like it's a high round and you feel like you might die, you could just let him die, and it wouldn't really kill you in the long term.
But I think also you probably can't upgrade your gun, so if you run out of ammo, like you couldn't upgrade and you couldn't use traps, so
Could you buy guns off the wall or buy ammo off the wall?
I don't even know if you can.
Other than that, what was the other? What was the map that had like the boss zombie come on?
The
Was that also
boss
Burger Town?
zombie. Yeah, that was Burger Town. That big guy who
Yeah, the giant shield
puts
and
his
whatnot.
staff on the ground and does an electroshock.
Was it what else? What some of the other maps that had like special features about them?
The first map. Do you know what the first map is called?
I don't know what any of the maps are called.
Uh,
Down mark.
Let me look them up real quick. I got an iPad.
yeah.
So just the first map.
Anyways, you have to find your exosuit before you can actually get any perks. You have to turn on the power in each room instead of just turning on the general power. You have to turn on the power for that.
I
room.
also remember that like each room had its own power for each of the perks and each of the other stuff and whatnot. I remember
Yep.
that.
Yep. So you had to go get your exosuit from somewhere right in the middle of the map, pretty much, and just go get all the perks. And there was, at first, it wasn't that fun sometimes when everyone realized the glitches that you could sit in, and everyone was just sitting there the whole time. And
Oh, well, I mean that's with that's with most of the zombie maps right when they come out.
yeah, pretty much. But I liked how you could
Outbreak?
jump around and kind of fly.
Was it Outbreak? Is that
Oh.
what the name was?
Oh, yeah, I think that's the first one. Outbreak. It's I don't know what that building is. You start on the outside, buy doors, and make your way in. I really like. There's probably two places I like to run circles. The first area and the area where you get your exosuit. The boxes are 3D printers. I'm not.
I like that. The boxes were 3D printed. That was a really nice touch in my opinion.
Right, and that's just a cool technical thing. It's not even doesn't make a difference or anything.
Well, I mean, it kind of like they try to add like future hyper realism and whatnot. They're like,
Oh, you didn't witness this. We didn't get that far, but the box will short out and then it will switch to a different spot.
I kind of assumed that because I saw the other 3D print. It said 3D printer malfunction. I was like, okay, well this is definitely a box location, but it's just not turned on right now.
Yeah.
We got carrier. There was one
The
of them.
first one did have.
There was one of them there was one of them that had a bomb, and when you tried to defuse, like you had to go defuse the bomb, otherwise you lose, I guess.
Oh yeah, the part about that I don't like is
When you go to defuse the bomb, you have guys shooting at you.
yeah.
This is zombies. What is
You
this?
try to do it
Whoa,
by
what's
yourself.
this?
It's kind of difficult because
What?
you
What
walk
just
into the
happened?
room, 5 people all shoot at you.
What just
We're
happened
on
to the
the-
plane?
We're on the ground.
I just saw. Okay, maybe it was just my screen there, but it looked like we just like bounced off the ground and then rotated.
Really? Well, not on my screen.
All right.
I'm on the ground, so.
Other than that, I played very small amount of Black Ops 3 Zombies on my sister's copy for the
Yeah,
PlayStation.
Do it a couple times.
Shadows of Evil, where you have to turn beast mode, I guess. Like so, you go up to this little cauldron and I guess there are different areas that you can go like different cauldrons that you can go beast mode on, and you can go on each one of the cauldrons once per round. So if the beast mode runs out after however many, like 30 seconds or whatever, then you can go over to the next cauldron and then go beast mode again in the same round on the next one. And I guess you have to use that to grapple up to different locations and use that to like there's I didn't find a specific power button or power switch. It was like these little power boxes that were right next to if you was it Origins where like you get the no it wasn't Origins, it was like Die Rise where if you get the one perk then when you die, then you go into like this electrical form. You can like electrocute outlets and whatnot, and you can revive yourself. It was almost like that, but like when you're in beast mode, you can electrocute this power outlet or this little power box that's right next to this perk, and then that'll turn on the perk, and that's how you turn on the perk machine. That's how you get the perks. And I didn't really find an overall power switch around the map.
I found
I
that
didn't go
map
too
very confusing.
yeah, very.
Because
I, I think it's more one of the learning curves where you know if you know what you're doing and you know where you're going and whatnot, it'll be a lot easier. But I played it very few times and it was definitely
Yeah,
difficult.
it would be a lot easier if you knew where you're going, but I think it's another one of those maps that you have to look it up
It
and
didn't seem
watch a video
it,
or have someone actually walk you through it and show you where to go.
it didn't seem like there was a lot of running around spots, but you know I didn't get too far. They have zombies on like phone, iOS and Android one. You can play zombies on your phone, like the original Nocturne Toten and Verrucht, and I believe you could also get like Kino and Call of the Dead and whatnot for
Yep.
those. But like they're all pretty expensive if you've already played them on. You already have them on your computer. I mean, if you really have like a study hall and really bored, maybe it might be worth your money, but it's just not worth my money to buy it and play it on my phone if I can just go sit on my computer and play it there, you know?
I don't think it would be as easy to like control the character on
It's
your
definitely
It,
not easy.
it's not.
no,
It's not
less
no.
mobile and not as good as moving around and jumping, getting. A lot of times there's really close calls that you get past the zombies, and I feel like on the phone.
I feel like it's dumbed down on the phone though, so it's supposed to be a lot easier because it's a lot harder to control.
Oh.
I think it is. I could be wrong. Um, Other than this, I just want to kind of touch. We were going to touch a little bit more, but we ended up going so far into depth that we ran through most of our time. I'm going to touch a little bit more on just not even Nazi zombies now, but like moving on. The Last of Us is if I mean if you haven't heard of The Last of Us, go look it up. It's a really awesome game. I think it's a PlayStation exclusive that we talked about last week as well. Or you could just go watch somebody play it on YouTube if you don't want to go buy the game, buy a PlayStation if you don't have one. But it's very great story driven game, and it's zombie related, post zombie apocalypse. Left 4 Dead is another very popular one. One of my friends, G33 Smeegs, did a playthrough on his YouTube channel on this game, and he really loves the game a lot. And I watched the playthrough. It's very fun looking, and I actually have the game myself, but it's only co-op, and I don't want to play with random people, so I've yet to get around to playing a lot of it. Daisy, Brent, tell me about your fun experience.
Daisy is the zombies really aren't that much of a factor in my opinion. It's more the other players. Um,
Just like Rust.
just like Rust, yeah. It's yeah, very much so players. Zombies really aren't that much of a factor unless you're staking out someone's base. You know that they're there if there's zombie spawns. That's pretty much the only thing that the zombies have going for them.
Rust, like we just said, you have to worry about players. In Rust, in early Rust, they actually the game was designed to be a zombie-based post-apocalypse game, and they changed it while they're developing. They're like, well, people don't really care about zombie games. We're gonna make it more of a survival. You're a naked guy who with a rock game. So it turned from zombies into more PvP rather than PvE, rather than versus the environment. It's more versus players now, which I don't really like, in my opinion. But some people like it a lot more.
Yep.
And another one that we always liked playing, 7 Days to Die, Brent.
Yep, that was
Imagine Rust, more Minecraft like even. It's just imagine Minecraft, and then you throw some zombies in there, and then you have 7 Days to Die.
this was the old Rust. This is not the new Rust.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, is there anything else anybody wants to pitch in?
just The Walking Dead. I
Oh
really
my.
like. That's my favorite show.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I like that show too.
I have. I'm gonna be honest here. I have not watched a lot of Walking Dead. I watch like if it's on like if it's on TV and they're doing like a marathon of the season, I'll sit down and I'll watch it. But I don't keep up with it.
You were
Really?
stubborn at first. Me and Dad were like, "Come watch this with us," and you're like, "Nah."
No thanks.
Exactly.
Uh,
I liked it. I still
It's-
like it.
yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Fun. It's
Fun.
it's really interesting. It really is.
Yep.
I don't want to talk too much about the in case anybody's like hasn't watched. If
Makes
they're
you
on a
think
certain part.
about if you were after zombie apocalypse, they try to do a lot of like situations.
you're in a
that they
zombie
think could really
apocalypse?
happen.
All right, real quick. What's your
Yeah.
tip? What if you had to give one tip to somebody who's in a zombie apocalypse? What would your tip be? I'm gonna say, don't trust anybody.
Stay away from large populations. Stay away from people. Just be isolated mostly. I think.
Brent,
Arm up.
arm up. Okay.
Arm up.
Next question for each one of us. What would be the one weapon if you had one weapon to use in the zombie apocalypse? What would it be?
I'd run around like Michonne with a katana because I would never run out of ammo.
That's true.
And I would have Sam be my zombie slave slash
Wait, back up.
in the show she has her two brothers chained up and she has their jaws cut off so they can't fight
Wait.
other zombies like aren't attracted to shit. She's like they're like, oh, there's zombies over there and they don't even notice her.
I am not gonna be the zombie. I'd probably be the first person to be
You're
to
gonna be
do
my
it.
guard. Yeah, my guard zombie.
Brent, what weapon would you use?
What weapon would I use? Probably an AR-15.
I like that. This I have to go shotgun, man. I'd probably either take a lever action shotgun or just a straight up pump action. But like you say, Danielle's is the most sensible because you're not gonna run out of ammo with a katana. You have to sharpen it, but
You put a goddamn bayonet at the end of an AR-15, you're not gonna run out of ammo either.
that's true. Anyways, left. Anything else? Any really final
Yes.
conclusion thoughts?
Where would you go? I got a question for everyone.
Okay.
Where would you go during a zombie apocalypse?
I was just kind of say something about that because I was gonna say like if you build a tree house, with
They
a
can't climb.
retractable ladder, there's no way they can climb the tree.
But I mean,
Yeah.
if they're all swarming around the treehouse, you can't ever get down.
There are villages where they have like treehouse to treehouse and bridges, like a whole treehouse bridge village, and that's what we're gonna have to do.
You know,
Okay.
you know what? You go to Canada. You go northern Minnesota. You go even farther. You go Canada, and you just wait up there. You know why?
I was
In
thinking that too.
because
Sure.
in the winter, it's negative 40 degrees outside. Nothing's gonna be moving outside. I don't care if you're a zombie. You're gonna get
Whether you're
frozen.
undead
What
or
happens when you
not,
run out of food?
your dead flesh is gonna freeze.
When you run out of food, you ice fish.
Okay. If that's I have a completely different thing.
All right, where are you gonna go?
I would get a train.
I was also thinking. Hold on, before you say also in the winter, there are a lot of lakes in Canada. Also in just Minnesota is called the land of 10,000 lakes. That's the moniker for the name. That's the name of the state. Land of 10,000 lakes.
Yeah, like the Sunshine State or the Lake State.
You go in the winter. You can go out and go on the frozen lake, out to an island. You could build your house there. In the winter, it's going to be too cold that they'll all freeze, and then in the summer, you'll be surrounded by water, so they can't get to you.
Yeah, you can do that. But the reason why I chose the train is trains are very, very strong. So
This is true.
and I don't know. Well, my dad works for the railroad, so I know this. But there are tracks all the way up to northern Canada and through and up to Alaska, and there's tracks all the way down to South America. So you could go anywhere you want to.
So you need a friend that's like a train conductor.
Well, I know how to drive a train, so.
Okay.
But what if the
then-
track? What if
hey,
the track
new friend.
breaks?
Well, if the track breaks, then you just backtrack. Put a locomotive on each end of the train, and that way you can go either way.
What about
And-
fuel?
Fuel, that would be the main thing.
I think so as well.
But
I mean,
you'd have to-
they still use cars, and they still find a way to find
Right, I mean,
fuel for their cars
put a
and their
tank-
motorcycles.
You put a tanker car on each behind each locomotive and just armor it up so if someone tries to shoot at it, it doesn't explode. Then you're good for a while. I mean, each locomotive has a 500-gallon fuel tank, so.
I also think you're going to be drawing a lot of attention, and I don't think, I mean, like in Walking Dead especially, the zombies are very, they hear a sound and then they'll go there.
Right. I
So-
mean, it's not like you're gonna
And-
be driving all the time.
No, but
I
if
mean,
you stop driving, right when you stop driving, they're still going to hear the sound.
Yeah.
They'll go over to where the train is.
And your biggest problem isn't always zombies. It's
Other people, they're all going to
gonna
hear
be
the
like-
train.
Nice train. You got a good setup there.
It would
I
be
don't know if you
ashamed
guys-
if someone.
did you guys know that the windows on a locomotive are bulletproof
I did not know that.
in real life? So, or
In
in
real
real
life.
life. Yeah, in real life. Yeah,
IRL, bro.
in real. Yeah, I don't know why I said that, but it's probably because I'm sitting in this airplane cockpit. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean we're making sure all the passengers get off safely.
yeah, right.
But anyways, I think that's just about gonna wrap up the episode 2 of the Flightcast. I want to thank you all. If you've made it this far, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Well,
if
they
you
have to
if
stick
you've
around-
made it,
they have
I'm
to
just
stick around to watch my awesome landing. Come on now.
yeah, I'm just kidding. If you stuck around this far, thank you very much. We will be back next week with the next episode. I would like to thank our guest for being on this episode. What do you
And
what do you think?
Thanks for inviting me. Also, except for the fact that I didn't know like 75% of the zombie maps that you're talking about. The only reason I'm here is because I knew
Advanced
like
Warfare.
2 of the ones that you didn't really play, and I didn't really, I don't know, explain them very well. I don't think.
No,
But thanks anyways
You did
for-
fine. You did great.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
But we will be signing off now. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.